Charlie.
Nah, she's well, okay. You can see.
Is she an angel?
Well, of course.
She's not an angel.
She's a
She
Bernedoodle.
She's a very tall
Good
lady.
day, Discord.
Hi,
Hello, Discord.
everybody.
Discord.
on the internet.
Hello.
Hello, Discord.
Discord.
Hi, Patreon.
And
Hi,
let's
Twitch. Hi, LinkedIn. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Substack.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How's it going?
Yo.
As I'm trying to send pictures of Charlie, the Bernedoodle, to everybody here, Duolingo is very upset with me.
Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa
Duolingo.
hates Sarah. Yeah, I don't know
She's
why.
British as well.
I don't know why she hates me. What have I ever done to her?
Thought she was Albanian.
No, Duolingo is, they're
wasn't
doing
she, like, born and
the
raised
whole
in
thing
London or
where like the
something?
app is like melting, like
Oh, yeah.
I get it,
like,
you
yeah,
hate
and you have to
me.
do one, and then you get a Band-Aid, and then the next day you do one, and it starts
I'm
to
like,
heal.
come on,
Yeah,
Mine
I don't
fixed.
like
I only had to do one lesson, and then he went back to normal.
No, this morning he had a Band-Aid on again.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah.
mine has, yeah. He's got a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
Poor little owlie.
I know. Hey, great job on chess, Nate. I get alerts every time I do Duolingo that tells me that you won a chess match. So
I used chess as an XP boost.
yeah, okay.
I enjoy chess. It's great. But I only use Duolingo for Japanese, and I try and do about half an hour, 45 minutes a day. But I just hate being demoted. Even though I get nothing for staying in the Diamond League, I just hate the idea that I'm being demoted.
No, that's
so whenever I do
that's
that,
why it works, right?
I
Yeah.
jump into chess and I just play a few chess matches because it's high XP, and then, but yeah, then every time says, "Hey, Nate won its first chess match today," and it's like, I've won quite a lot.
I know. When it said Nate won his first chess match, I'm like, but you told me that before, so this can't be his first one.
Well, one thing I do is I periodically abandon the course and then start it again because the lessons get so convoluted and so contrived that it just becomes no.
And if you're
fun
just
to
doing it for
play.
XP, then yeah,
It just doesn't matter. So
yeah.
that's why
I used to do
doing that.
the alphabet in Korean. I would just do the alphabet one for XP boost because
I do that in Japanese as well, but the chess one is so quick.
Yeah, okay.
And I keep having to tell myself I'm not using Duolingo. I don't pay Duolingo to gain XP for a totally pointless ranking. I'm doing it to learn to speak Japanese, and it's very effective. So I don't get why I do it. It's some psychological thing.
It really is.
Probably,
Yeah, you have to get out of the rat race, man.
I know. I need to. Maybe this is the reason to stop. The fact that I've
Sarah's
now
doing
been
Duolingo
caught.
right now because we reminded her she didn't.
I'm not.
Are we Duolingo
I'm
friends,
showing
Sarah?
you a picture of Charlie the dog.
Oh, you're still sending the Charlie picture.
I actually recently,
I
this
just
month,
sent it.
took a pause from Duolingo.
Oh, what a cutie!
I know, aren't they so cute?
And Rex quite fetching in this picture as well.
Where am I
She's
seeing that?
she's bigger than him, but he's like,
Wow.
I like it. I know, aren't they so
whatever
cute?
works.
It's been quite a 24 hours at the Lane residence.
That's a lot of dog.
A lot of dog.
Where am I?
And
How come I'm not seeing
Ralphie the
dog?
cat is like, yeah, I'm cool.
Aw.
There he is.
Isn't that so cute? I know. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
How do you know if they get along immediately, or like if they didn't get along? What would
You don't.
Well, no,
That's
but
the fun part. Is like you don't. You're
Oh, yeah.
like, let's
You hope.
try this out.
Ray
If
and
they don't
Sawyer
get
lived
along, you
together
have to put
for a
them in
week
separate
when we
rooms.
first got her, and then Ray suddenly turned on him. Like, you just don't know. You just never know.
But do you have to like keep them in separate rooms for the rest?
No,
of
no, they worked it out.
You kind of like. I feel like it's like if the humans are like, there's no beef here.
Yeah.
Then the dogs kind of go like, oh, okay, there's no beef.
And with Ray and Sawyer, we made it clear that that was not okay. That is not appropriate behavior, and
Right.
Ray caught on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Howard
Rex is-
Yermish says, whenever Nate is on, I
very
look
on.
back at his drum set and smile.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Whenever I look back on my drum set, I also smile.
Yeah.
Who's
Don't look back in
Nate,
anger.
you
I'm
would
smiling
know
at your
this.
color scheme.
Thank
Those
you.
are some
Yeah,
awesome colors you've got there.
it's quite
Nate-
nice. I was thinking of upgrading them to changeable colors. Right now, they're just gels that sit on top of the lights.
Nate, you would know the answer to this. The drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chad Smith. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I right? Okay.
Yep.
And they did a thing at the Grammys the other night, and he was awesome. And I just wondered, like, who's your favorite drummer?
Well,
Good question.
probably Mike Portnoy. He plays in a band called Dream Theater. I would say he's one of my biggest influences. Another favorite is a guy called Jay Postones, who plays in a band called Tesseract, British metal band, and he is a drum teacher / drum mentor to me. So I've learned a lot from him directly. But part of the reason I was so keen to do that is because I was already a very, very big fan of his and the band, and we've been working together for a few years on and off. So I would definitely put him in there as well. And then there's a guy who used to play with Primus called Tim Alexander, who is not as heavy or as technical, but is just so groovy. And anyone who knows Primus would recognize his playing, no matter who he was playing with.
Primus is very specific.
It's very
Do you
specific.
ever watch that YouTube channel? What's that? My wife watches it.
Drumeo.
Yeah, Drumeo.
Yeah.
And like they get them to listen to all the it's like all the tracks except the drumming part, and then they have to kind of play it as they think that it should be played.
By
And
the
they
way,
have like
Chad Smith played drums on Dua Lipa's song. Oh, I can't remember, but he did play. He was a fill-in drummer for
My
one of the
Beef with
songs.
Sarah Lane. That was that song.
Oh man, I wish I could remember what song it is.
I have no beef.
No,
with
Dua
Chad
Lipa.
Smith. Oh, Dua Lipa. Yeah. Also.
Also,
very,
no beef with Dua Lipa.
Also, very fond of her.
We can dismiss
Rob,
those rumors.
Rob, remind me. Did you play an instrument when you were younger?
I did quite a few of them actually.
How many?
Let's see. I played all of the wind instruments except for the oboe and bassoon. And I play all of the brass instruments except for the small mouthpiece ones. So like no trumpet, no basically from trombone, baritone, tuba. If they had a
Tuba.
big mouthpiece, I could play pretty much all of them. I know how they all operate because once you know how to play, if you can play clarinet, you can pretty much play any woodwind. If you can play a baritone, you can pretty much play any, any brass instrument. But yeah, I was one of those. Thought I was going to be a jazz musician at one point.
Were you?
Well, I
in a
mean,
marching band?
you still can.
No, I was a football player. So we had a military style marching band that actually performed outside of band season or outside of football season. So I was in that, but like for regular marching band, I was a football player.
Okay. I was kind of hoping to see you in full regalia.
I feel like we should all put a
There's
band
probably some
together.
pictures out there
We
because, like I
should.
said, we performed outside
the
of just
band
football.
together.
I mean, Rob can play all the instruments.
Right, and
I
then
could
we'll watch.
probably play the trumpet,
clap.
kind of. And yeah, I don't know who
can
else
Nate
can
on drums,
contribute.
obviously.
Obviously, Nate on drums. Tom, what are you gonna play?
Well, I played trumpet, cornet, and drums when I was in high school, but I haven't played any of that for a very long time. So
Sure.
maybe I'll limit myself to tambourine.
Well, since you played
1
drums,
minute.
you and Nate should have a paradiddle off.
Oh, we
the
could
paradiddle
be one of the bands that has two drummers.
Yes.
Oh yes,
That'd be cool.
Okay,
that's always cool.
Roger.
Snarky
Roger's
Puppy
the
has like
violinist.
No, cellist. I'm a
Cellist.
and a
Okay.
Sorry.
Rock
You
cello.
play cello.
I played
I can be the
piano
violinist. I only played
5
for
years and cello for
a
9.
few years, but I don't know.
All
how
right,
to-
we got a string section in this band. I love it.
Well, I could play bass too if you want me to.
All right, all right.
About it. Look at us. We're a band.
Bass is
Wait, Sarah,
great.
what did
Like,
you
if
play?
I played trumpet when I was very young. I wasn't good. and
Recorder.
I-
You could play recorder.
This is going to be the
Recorder.
weirdest band.
that,
Definitely
he
one
means
that
no, I
recorded.
just
10 seconds.
yell sing. That's
Oh,
that's
yes.
me. You know, like
Yeah.
I can't play guitar. I've tried.
You'll be the
I
front man.
can't.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm the front man.
Have a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet. This is the DTNS Live Thursday Hangout from Studio 7 in Los Angeles. I'm Tom Merritt.
From Studio Animal House, I am Sarah Lane.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Robb Dunewood.
Drawing the top tech stories in Cleveland, I'm Len Peralta.
I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
And a big, warm evening welcome to Nate Lanxon from all the way across the pond. Welcome back to the show, Nate.
First time of 2026. Very exciting times.
Yeah.
Welcome. How is your 2026 so far?
It's fruitful and continuous.
I would hate it to be discontinuous.
That sounds appetizing.
Yeah, it just keeps going. It's February. Where did January go?
I know.
Onwards.
We're halfway through Feb. It's almost Christmas.
It is.
Happens every year.
It will be.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Lunar New Year on Monday, right? Yeah.
It's coming up, isn't it?
Tuesday. I had planned this entire year to spend every day saying, "Can you believe it's already whatever today is?" And then I let it fall. So I'm glad we're back to that today.
Well, only 46 weeks till Christmas.
46. That's
only 46.
Yeah.
Blank
I can
in
start
your
making
my
a
list.
Hear the Christmas music and see trees in the stores anytime now.
When does Whamageddon officially start?
December
Right
1st.
after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Oh, bit too early.
Yeah, depends on the person.
Enjoy it. You can listen to it all year round.
I'm going to wham all week.
Well, for those of you who are watching live, you can name this episode. You can head on over to dtns.showbot.tv to submit titles and vote on them as well. We will check back in on the votes after the show with our patrons. So you might be the person who names our show.
DTNS Live is made possible by the folks who are patrons. Big thanks to everyone who supports us. And a special shout out today to ALO, Adam L., Philip Less, and Howard Yermish. Okay, folks, we start off the show by figuring out what the top tech story of the week was so far this week. What do we think? Anybody got a nomination? You want to start us off?
I have one.
All right.
And I think it's ChatGPT, the free version, showing you ads because I keep waiting for ChatGPT to show me ads.
You want us to see the ads?
Yeah, I'm like, just show me the ads. Let me decide how disgusted or not.
Right.
Unbothered I am. Don't have them. It's rolling out. So some people may be like, yep, I'm on the free version, which I am. I don't pay for ChatGPT, so I'm going to get ads eventually. But definitely, I'm not. I wasn't on the initial rollout. But I also, I don't know. I want to know how much this is going to upset people. As the free folks,
like how,
and there are many of us.
Not the immediate upset of like, I can't believe they're doing this, but like in the day to day, do you actually get frustrated with it?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm waiting for that kind of, like, what's that feeling? Do people feel like, oh, it's like, Google search, who cares? Or is it something more?
You'll get ad blindness. You'll just stop.
All right. I think that is definitely a big one though.
I'm going to go.
Yes,
I want to go another AI company, but I want to go Anthropic releasing Opus 4.6. Now, let me give some caveats. It's not Anthropic releasing Opus 4.6 by itself, because that is not bigger than ChatGPT free and go getting ads. But when you factor in the Super Bowl ads, which were funny, they were really good.
They were good.
They were good. When you factor in Sam Altman's reaction to the Super Bowl, commercials, when you factor in the fact that they're saying, hey, we're going to not only keep our free stuff free, we're going to take some of the stuff that you used to pay for and make it free as well. They've announced that this week. When you look at that, they are, backing super PACs. That could be a good thing or bad thing depending on your frame of reference. But they are putting money into the government to say, hey, we don't think that we should just let this stuff just go all willy nilly. Like I said, there's two sides to that. Are they trying to control what they will be able to do and just get in front of it, or are they trying to actually it's probably a little bit of both. But I think if you look at all the stuff that Anthropic is doing, they don't have necessarily the biggest story, but I think they own the week as far as they're just in the news darn near every day.
No, it's a good argument for Anthropic just having a steady drumbeat of releases since last Friday, right?
And I'd go a step further and say the stuff that they've been doing with the whole legal models and financial models and the disruption that has caused and the fear that that's caused in some of those industries has again really showed you the power that AI companies coming out with quite domain specific deployments and expertise and models is really quite astounding.
The other one I'd throw out there, we're going to talk about a little later in the show too, is Discord's age verification announcement and then backlash and then clarification. That one definitely stretched out over the course of the week as well. And like I said, we're going to talk about that in a little more depth later too. But that had a steady drumbeat and a lot of attention on it.
Indeed. All right. Well, what do we think our top tech story is?
Sounds like we're all on the Anthropic side of it. Yeah.
That's my vote.
All right. Anthropic, you win this round. The top tech story of the week is Anthropic.
Nate, how do you describe your role in the video at Bloomberg?
Well, I'm a senior writer and I oversee a lot of the editorial from our team that makes weekly documentaries.
And so one of the things we want to talk about with you today is how circular deals are driving the AI boom video. I know a lot of people have questions on whether companies paying each other, like you describe in the video, is a bad idea. It's not actually fraud, right? Like, can you explain what's happening here?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a video that came from my team, written by a colleague of mine, Matt Goldman. And it's something that's really relevant right now, but also has been going on for quite some time. And I think it's worth having a little bit of context. I mean, and we discussed, I wasn't on the show, you discussed this earlier this month. Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, they had a lot of earnings this month. They were telling investors how much they were planning to spend this year on what's called on CapEx, capital expenditure, which is basically, in their world, it's data centers, it's chips for those data centers, and it's pretty much entirely for AI. And just the four of those two companies collectively said they're going to spend $650 billion with a B dollars this year on that CapEx stuff, almost all of which is basically to do with AI. So you just extrapolate that a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, we're talking trillions of dollars here. Like it's really quite mad. But then alongside that, you've got companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, as we've talked about, very big in the news. They're burning through billions and billions of dollars of cash because AI costs more to deliver than it makes for the companies who are delivering it. And so because you've got all this excitement, you've got all that interest, that appetite, that investor backing, a lot of FOMO as well, let's be honest, you see the valuations of these startups blowing through the hundreds of billions of dollars despite having never made any profit, and investors keep bankrolling them. So it got everybody thinking, are we in a bubble? Is this another dot-com boom, waiting for another equivalent bust? And so what's been really interesting and why we made this video, which I should say itself was based on a big story that our colleagues in the broader newsroom at Bloomberg had put together and a great infographic. It was based on looking at an awful lot of financial data, a lot of data analysis to really look at where the money was going, who was spending money on what, with whom. And when you take a step back and you look at where this money is going, you realize that actually huge sums of money and huge amounts of investor sentiment is basically positive, despite the fact that it's flowing between a few companies who are all kind of, I hesitate to say codependent, but there is a degree of codependency on them. A really good example is OpenAI and NVIDIA. most people know Nvidia became this multi-trillion-dollar company off the back of people buying its chips, but that's people like OpenAI. OpenAI needs a lot of cash to buy all those chips. Who has a lot of money? Nvidia. So Nvidia invests huge sums in companies like OpenAI, who then use that money to buy the chips from Nvidia. Microsoft, obviously, too, in the very early days of OpenAI, was a big backer, invested billions early on. OpenAI then spent a huge amount of that money on Azure cloud compute to power OpenAI. But now you've also got companies like OpenAI investing in companies themselves that take advantage and build products on top of their products. NVIDIA invested in this company called, what begins with a C, CoreWeave, which builds data centers. But it builds those using NVIDIA chips. You've got Amazon and Google investing in Anthropic. Anthropic saying it's going to use AWS, Google's AI chips. Like it keeps going on and on and on, that you've got these companies saying, we're going to raise all this money, but then raise it from these people who they are buying products from. And so when you take a step back and you look at the amount of money that is being raised and is being spent, but then you look at how that money is going back and forth between these few companies, you realize that it is just absolutely terrifying how potentially catastrophic it would be if at some point someone starts to doubt whether this can continue, because then it looks like the world's biggest bet to end all bets going wrong. And it may not do. I'm not actually a doomsayer on this topic at all. But when you look at the numbers and you look at the interconnected nature of the investment, and the sentiment and the ongoing increasingly huge numbers and expectations, it just becomes like, wow.
That conversation is happening right now. You know, there are definitely, you know, folks being like, well, hold on a second. I mean, how much is this really, you know, helping humanity, right? And you know, and what does humanity have to, I don't know, take away in order for that to matter? It's definitely a conversation I feel like people are having more and more.
I have concerns about the companies that we're naming. They're the biggest tech companies, but they're also the biggest companies by their market caps. These companies are absolutely enormous. They all make more than many countries' GDP. And the investments that they're making are so big that I start to have concerns about, are these companies getting so big that they're too big to fail? I know we don't like to say that, you know, we went through a time when we had some other companies that were too big to fail and we had to bail them out. But I'm wondering now, are these companies committed to so much money to go after AI, which I'm with you, Nate. I'm not a doomsayer on this. I think that there is some metrics that says, yes, that they should be doing this. But I do wonder, is it so much money coming so fast from so few companies that are all seem to be basically trading stuff with each other? Are we going to be in a situation to where, okay, these companies have now become too large to ultimately allow them to fail?
And I don't think it'll happen, because there's no single point of failure with these companies, because they all offer variations on the same thing. It's not like, you know, when a giant bank collapses that's tied to people's mortgages and retirement plans or savings, and the government may potentially have to step in, or when an airline, you know, potentially fails, or even a car maker to a degree. It's kind of like if Google, in a hypothetical world, went out of business tomorrow. Don't know how it would happen, but let's just pretend it did. You know, are there other search engines? Are there other AI providers? Like, there are. So I kind of feel that none of them are too big to fail, but that doesn't mean if they did fail, it wouldn't have repercussions that you'd feel for years and years and years, you know, and make the .com boom look fun, frankly.
Is there a threshold of money that they need to bring in to keep investors, you know, committed to leaving their money in funds that, you know, invest in Google and the Amazons and the rest, right? You know, a lot of the talk is, are they going to make money, or are they not going to make money? Like, there is an in between, and at what point do they need to break? You know, is it a break even point? Is it just, you know, 10-15% growth or something, or is it just something smaller?
It really depends on the shareholder, because you have some investors, private equity investors, who are generally investing with a view to selling and an exit and an IPO within a few years, whereas you've got investors like Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett, who are going to invest for decades and never take any money out. You look at what he did with Amex, for example. It just kept the stake the same. So it really depends. But generally speaking, when it comes to raising money, you need to be able to at least show that you've got a path to breaking even, and a margin, a gross margin that seems to be increasing. But I don't think there's any one single answer that I could give.
Is it fair to say you want to make sure that the trajectory is going up versus there's a threshold? Like as long as you're moving in the right direction, that's what
absolutely.
people want to look for. Yeah,
absolutely. But I mean, at the end of the day as well, a lot of companies and most startups, take years to start turning a profit, and that profit needs to ideally be growing and predictable, and withstand market fluctuations. So you kind of, the trajectory's got to be there, but at the same time, if you're going to say, well, it's going to take us 10 years to get to that point, and it's not a particularly predictable journey, and the competition is fierce, then you have a lot of investors who are like, maybe we don't want to commit, and that makes other investors wary, because then you're investing in a sinking ship. So
yeah, because it's not the fact that these companies are losing money. I see a lot of people throwing that around. It's like, yeah, Google had the same exact conversation about it in the 2000s. How is this company going to make money? And they figured out it was advertising. Facebook had the same thing for years. How is this company valued this? How is it ever going to make money on a social network? And now nobody talks about whether Meta is making money or not. It's whether it is going to continue to make money. Is it going to continue to be relevant? And I feel like Meta is a good example of what you're talking about. The conversation is not, are they making money? The conversation is, do they have a future? Are they going in the right direction, or should investors get cold feet and pull out?
Yeah.
What's interesting is that some of the companies are making money. Some aren't, though. OpenAI is not expected to make money this decade. So it'll be 2030 before they actually expect to turn a profit. So there are some extreme differences between a Microsoft and a Google and a Meta as compared to an Anthropic.
It took Facebook 10 years to make money too, though.
One of the really interesting different things with some of these companies is how much stuff do they rely on. Like Facebook had back in the day, at least, the advantage of saying, well, if we get more users, we buy a few more servers and we scale. Whereas the sheer huge upfront investment in training a data center and constantly upgrading chips to make sure that you are better and faster than the next person, like that is such an upfront and extraordinarily expensive investment that it's harder to think that they can just wait it out. Like there will have to come a point where they start showing real growth in some way.
And I think that's what OpenAI. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You were probably going to say what I was going to say. With OpenAI.
You say it first, and then I won't have to.
With the ads?
Yeah. Well, and OpenAI has been saying, has been going around showing that when they add compute, the revenue goes up. And so they're saying our revenue is not limited by demand. Our revenue is limited by supply. And that's why we need to spend all this money. Now, that will be true until it's not. OpenAI is hoping it will continue to be true for a long time. They keep adding compute. Where it would become a problem is if they're wrong and they add compute and suddenly they reach the limit of the demand, and they're like, oh wait, we committed to spending all this money, but now we don't need it.
But on the flip side, it's not like the data centers would sit idle either. If if OpenAI suddenly needs to drop demand, like there are other people willing to step into the vision.
Well, that's your video touched on the fiber build out of the 90s and how dot-com bust left a bunch of fiber in the ground that wasn't being used. That eventually got used, right? And
it did. I mean, while I completely agree with that sentiment, and it's why we included it in the piece, one of the interesting differences between something like fiber is that fiber optic cable at the time was so vastly greater than any foreseeable need was going to be, whereas we're already talking about, the next chip from NVIDIA is going to be 4 times more powerful, so we're going to have to buy all of that stuff. And I kind of think that if you've got these giant warehouses, which basically they are warehouses, just stacked full of chips that suddenly aren't going to be used for AI, there's a time limit basically on how useful some of that stuff will be where it is cost effective to do so.
Well, if you're wondering what is the best vlogging camera available to you, and maybe it's Sony's ZV-1, Robb Dunewood lets us know on this week's Live With It. We're chatting about living with that camera and giving you an honest, unbiased appraisal about how it feels, and if you feel like you want to buy it as well. You know, it's not the newest camera on the market, but might be the one for you.
That camera is 6 years old almost. It is still so good. It's perfect for what I use it for.
Well, if you want to know more about what Robb thinks about his camera, and it is a very good camera, check it out over at youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show.
All right, Mike wrote in and asked, with Discord joining in on age verification, could you discuss what this means for anonymity on the web? Is there a way to do age verification and keep it anonymous? If you didn't follow this story, Discord originally said everybody will be set to be assumed to be a teen. And if you want to access age-restricted material, which most people don't, but according to their logs, most people don't. But if you do, you'll have to verify your age. And the way to verify your age would be to do a face scan, which would stay on your device. So everybody was like, oh, they're going to be storing my face. Discord said, no, the face scan happens on your device, and it just tells us whether the app thinks you're over 18 or not. Or send in your ID. A third-party vendor will have it, never goes to Discord. Third-party vendor verifies that you're 18 or not to Discord, and then deletes it. Discord doesn't even get your birthday. A lot of people are like, I don't believe you, Discord. At which point it's like, well, then you probably shouldn't use Discord if you don't trust them. But what happened after that is Discord came back and gave some clarifications to say, oh, we have machine learning running that can tell if somebody is close to 18 or not. So we are not going to make everyone verify their age. Most people, even if they want to access age-restricted content, won't need to verify. It's just a few people.
Oh, that sounds like they say it. See, what had happened was we said stupid stuff, and now we have to come back and fix it. I'm with you, Tom. If you don't trust, Discord enough that you're going to use your phone, and it's not, the phone information is on your phone and it never gets sent to them. If you don't trust the third party is saying we're not going to send this information to them, you probably shouldn't be using Discord. But to the question, is there a way to verify that you are over 18 but completely remain anonymous? And I was thinking back, we talked about this months ago, maybe even over a year ago or so. But the orb, where you literally are going to be able to go and you get in front of this ball, and it scans your eyes and your face and stuff, and it basically gives you I guess it's kind of like a virtual stamp that says that you are an adult, but it's completely anonymous when you actually use it out in the real world. I'd wonder if that technology could be used to also say, and not only are they a real human, they're also over the age of 18 or over the age of 15 or whatever the case is.
But honestly, that's actually more privacy invading than what Discord's doing, which is you have an app on your phone that just tells Discord yes or no, this person is over the age of 18. Somebody asked in the chat room who the third party is. It's KID, K-ID is the third party doing the age verification. And they have been certified by the Entertainment Software Rating Board and the UK Privacy Certified Program, the UK Age Check Certification Scheme. So it's not a fly-by-night company, and it's somebody that's been audited.
I think this is one of the problems with this, and we've had a lot of controversy in Britain for basically forcing pornographic websites to do age checks to make sure that kids weren't able to access adult content online. And the huge storm was, well, obviously this is going to cause all legal adult users who don't want to have to upload details to the web to prove they're 18 to stop using those websites or to start using VPNs, and young people who want to access that are going to use the same methods and bypass it anyway. And a huge part of the problem is that nobody trusts that the person or the company that they have to verify their age with is going to be trustworthy. And I wonder if at some point, when everybody starts doing this, because they probably will at some point, whether it's like a branding thing, like you basically just have to have a company that has been doing it for a very, very long time with a very good track record, that is frankly well marketed and is trusted and is independent, and everyone just starts to recognize that, okay, well, if it's this company that's doing the check, like, we know they've been around. And at the moment it's still quite nascent, and a lot of the reasons that people are getting angry is because they've never had to do this before, and they're potentially having to do it with companies they don't trust.
Well, and I think, to your point, Nate, it kind of, it's sort of like, yeah, like, what company is doing this well? But on the other side of things, if I have to go to the DMV, and get an ID, and it has to be me, and everything is very above board, I'm used to that. At what point do companies like this go through the right channels so that we all feel like, yeah, okay, you know me, you know who I am, you have all my information, and I'm comfortable with that.
I honestly think we need a decentralized system, as I've been banging on about for 20 years, something like what Tim Berners-Lee has set up with Solid, where you can have disinterested bank-like third parties handle your data, and then you're in control of who gets to access how much of it and can revoke that access. As long as it's these kind of ad hoc third-party companies, you're going to have situations where people lose trust. Discord was using a company called 5CA to handle verification. That company got breached, so they switched to KID, but that gets lost in the translation, and people think, oh, well, Discord got breached in the past. Discord didn't get breached. A third-party company got breached, and they dropped them for KID, which is who's handling it now. But because it's so complex, that's people are like, yeah, whatever. It just sounds like I shouldn't trust them.
I'm part of it is like, on the practical level, for the end user, what is your level of anonymity? I mean, the thing is, it's always going to be a sliding scale, right? It's not going to be absolute, like, it's a fortress of solitude no one's going to ever be able to peek in, or it's free and open. So I think, in practical terms, I think what you'll probably see is a lot of people just be lazy and default to the standard Discord settings. And if they have something more sensitive that they want to talk to someone about, they might just migrate over or move that conversation.
Well, except for Discord has now said, you know what? Most people will still be able to access age-restricted stuff without having to do anything, right? So
yeah, but that adds to the confusion, and I think at some point I think for the end user, if it's more than figuring out what I punch in as my login, or what servers I'm a part of, that might be just too much. And I think, and this is not a criticism of Discord,
but that's what Discord's saying is you wouldn't have to do anything. All you got to do is log in. They're saying exactly what you're asking for.
Oh, I know. No. What I'm saying is, at some point, people are just.
It comes down to how much does Roger trust Discord?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not just Roger trust, but how much do you really, at some point, were you just like, it's all too confusing. It's too complicated for me to figure out.
And the what Discord can count on is the vast majority of Discord users aren't paying attention to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Right.
like, I don't use it for anything more sensitive than, work, which I guess could be considered sensitive, but like I'm not punching life lessons and
You're not watching R-rated movies on it.
Or
I think we're going to get to a point to where, just like you go, somewhere to get your TSA clearance, to get your global ID or global entry, you're going to go somewhere to get a digital ID, and that digital ID, you'll be able to use it in multiple different ways. Some of it will be anonymous, some of it won't be, but ultimately there's going to be a company that we trust that you go out and you create this ID that allows you to do things anonymously on the internet. I think that we are trending towards that.
Can you do it in a...
I'm sorry, I was just going to bang on against Solid one last time. If Facebook would adopt Solid tomorrow, this whole conversation would not be necessary, because then everyone would get on a decentralized system. The digital IDs that Rob talks about would not be controversial because you could manage them, and we would be on our way to this not constantly being a problem like it is now.
Is there a way you could do something like how Apple's iCloud Relay works, where it's a little bit like Tor, I think, where it goes through 3 hops. So you send the request to one server, and the server sends it to a middle server that knows who you are, but not what you're trying to access. And then by the time it gets to the end, they know what's being accessed, but they don't know who asked to have access.
Yes.
It's like 3 layers
Yes.
of separation. Is there a way of doing age verification that way?
Yes.
That removes you from. Is that basically what you're saying?
It's
Is that-
solid. Solid
yeah.
could do that. Yeah.
Exactly what it does. Yeah.
It sounds like a solid idea.
Yeah,
Talk
thanks.
about
I
it more.
think so too. All right, before we get to the quiz, because I know everybody likes the quiz, Sarah is going to regale us with a cautionary tale. Thank you, Sarah, for being willing to talk about this. If you listen to Have Such a Good Day, you probably heard her talk about it already. And if you don't listen to Have Such a Good Day, you absolutely should. Go look it up in your podcatcher. But you got a strange call from Google. Eh?
Yeah. So yes. I'll try to not belabor this too much. But what happened was about a week ago, at like 5:30 in the morning, which is, I'm kind of already getting up, but I wasn't up. I got a phone call from Google. And when I say from Google, it was because my provider is Verizon. And, Google had the check mark. And so I was like, that's weird. But I missed the call. Okay. So I was like, why would Google be calling me at 5:30 in the morning? Then I'm walking the dog, maybe like an hour or 2 later. And I get a phone call from Google again, Google again in Mountain View, same 650 number. And the whole thing was like, we have noticed that somebody, has breached your account. If this was you, don't do anything. If this wasn't you, press 1. And I was kind of like, all right, this is starting to feel fishy. But like pressing 1
with a
probably
PH.
won't hurt me, right? So I press 1 and then I get the same thing again. Press 1 again, press 1 again. And so I'm like, okay, this is nuts. And kind of forgot about it. Go home, again, still, first thing in the morning, haven't had coffee yet. And somebody calls me from Google, and I'm putting that in quotes, and was like, hey, we're, really, we know you're a valued customer. We're really, really, I know you're laughing. We're, just trying to figure out what's going on. Somebody apparently got a hold of a picture of your government ID and now is trying to use that, to for another account. And I was like, my government ID is something that like the DMV has, and maybe here and there, I don't know, like when I bought my Volvo back in the day, maybe that's floating around. And I was sort of like, okay, and the guy was, very nice and, did all the right things, but Spidey sense was up. So I was like, can you send me a photo of my government ID? And he was like, well, we're in, a call center that would be hard for me. And I was like, okay, can I call you back? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, can't do that either. And I was like, got it. And at that point I'm like, you're trying to get me.
Yeah.
And I know it. And I'm just going to have some fun here.
You've already answered. You've already had some of your time taken.
Yeah. I'm like, I just want to know, what are your tactics? How do you get people to
divulge?
Give you, their, all the stuff. So we go back and forth for a while, and he eventually, you can tell that he's starting to get annoyed with me. It finally, what is, going back to just kind of why this was something that really could have gotten me on a bad day was that, they came to me with what looked like a Google number. They also sent me emails. Like while we were on the phone, he was like, all right, I'm going to send you an email. Tell me what the 6-digit number is, and then, we're all good. And all that stuff came through as if it were Google.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if you really look at the headers, you'll find some clue, but it wouldn't be obvious.
But I did. I mean, it was Google through and through. That's good spoofing. This very good spoofing. But
they had your number and your email.
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone number and email, like with the amount of data breaches that are out there, are everywhere. Everybody's phone number and email are everywhere, right? So that is not hard for anyone to get a hold of, which is why whenever there's a breach, they always say, be aware of this for phishing purposes, because this is it. This is what they're talking about.
This is what they do.
Totally. Yeah. And honestly, nothing bad happened. As we were still on the phone, I changed my password, changed my bank password, just, did all the things. Nothing bad happened. But I was like, dang, they got close. They really got close.
And what they'll do with the number thing that you're talking about is they will trigger the actual Google login alert to you. Yeah. So it will be from Google. That's, and then they want you to give them the number so they can log in as you and use that code. And that's why you should never give anyone on the phone those codes.
Exactly.
Which is annoying because they always, especially when you talk to banks, it's like, we're going to send you a number. Just read it back to me. And
no,
unfortunately, that's a legitimate way they do it. So your people are trained mentally. Like I got a Wells Fargo call this beginning of the week, and it says Wells Fargo. The number was 1-800 number, and they did everything. And it's like, well, your credit card with Wells Fargo credit. It's like, wait a minute. First of all, I don't have an ATM card, so I don't have a credit card. I kept telling them I don't have a credit card. They insisted I did. It's like, nope, I don't. And it was a big round robin of just telling them to stuff it. But it's they one thing they are is very insistent. And if you're someone like you, Sarah, where it's the beginning of the day and you're just not, you're just out of bed. Like they called me at 7:30 in the morning. My head wasn't screwed on straight.
My first call was at 5:30 a.m. It's like I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not an idiot, but like you can get me on a bad day, and things could get really sideways. Not that I have. I don't have any money for people to steal, really, but the whole idea of somebody taking control of your account, and we are all very savvy people. I mean, this is what we do.
Talk about this stuff all the time.
Exactly, and yet, that day I was like, you almost got me. You almost got me.
So I wanted to say this, Sarah, because you mentioned that you said, well, let me call you, and then they hem and they hawed. But some of the really, really good ones will say, yeah, no problem. Here's the number. And the thing that you never want to do, you never want to call the number that they give you, because if they give you the number and you just call them right back on the number that they're expecting you to call, you may feel, oh, this is legit because I just called you and I'm now talking to the same person. You always want to go, particularly if it's like your banking information or if it's Google or a company, they all have numbers that are publicly available on the internet to call for customer service. And you call those numbers, particularly if it's your bank. Never allow your bank to say, hey, just call us back at this number.
Go look up the bank's number.
Yeah, I got your number right here on my card. I'm going to call you back. No, once I call this number, what do I do to get you? 9 times out of 10, you'll get a click at that point because they know that they're got. But
I love what Nick with a C says here. Tech savvy doesn't mean social engineering savvy.
Right.
And I think that's really important. Because every one of us on this call, and probably most of you listening, think like, I'm pretty tech savvy. I know how to watch out for these things. But social engineering isn't about technology. Social engineering is about psychology. And as they say on the World's Greatest Con podcast, humans don't get fooled because they're idiots. Humans get fooled because they're humans. And what they're looking for is a way to say the words that will make you do a thing, whatever those words are. So it's much easier for them to just keep trying that with millions and millions of people until they hit one that it works, than for you to be on guard for all the thousands of ways that this happens. So that's why it's important to just be aware and be suspicious of things that may be even legitimate. You know,
and they target you when they know there's a life event that just happened.
Yeah,
Like
or
Dad
that's why they
recently
go
passed,
early in the
I
morning.
got a lot of calls.
Early in the
mail,
morning,
and
or around tax time, or there lots of reasons where I've been like, ooh, is this actually something I need to worry about? Wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm quite curious how you felt emotionally when your phone started ringing at 5:30 a.m. because I don't know for you,
Immediately annoyed.
You see, annoyed is interesting. I wish I would only be annoyed because I have this real unknown phone number paranoia that I don't really know where it comes from. That if my phone started ringing at 5:30 a.m. from an unknown number and called again later in the day, like everything from sort of neck down would just turn to liquid. I'd just be so terrified.
No,
like, who's died?
That's what they count on, and they go through a bunch of numbers because, like, T-Mobile. I have T-Mobile, and they do a pretty good job of flagging things as spam. But sometimes, one gets through, and you're always never sure. And I use the Google call screen, and what I've learned is even if the school calls, they will leave a message, but scammers never leave a message. And so I find it
these
to be
scammers left messages.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
They definitely did.
And I'm
actually curious, Nate. I mean, how does, living in the UK, I mean, is this something that you have to deal with on a daily basis?
I mean, it sounds like we have it far less than the US. It sounds like everyone in the US is basically constantly being hounded by AI robocalls. It really isn't that big of a problem here, I think, in the same way, and I don't know why, but it is a problem, and it does happen, and it's happened to me, certainly. But as to whether we're more susceptible or just because it's a bigger population in the US, I honestly don't know.
I think it's just more people, and so you don't need to, right? If you have a population,
And there's different
million?
rules on how cell phone operators are allowed to.
And also, like that morning that, the person got on the phone with me, and I was just sort of like tired enough to give him a little bit of my time.
Yeah.
Think of all the people who just would say no. And then, kind of in my area being like, wait, what is this? And then all the other people who were like, okay, let me give you my Gmail password.
Yeah.
They want to hit the person that they want to hit.
My last 10 phone calls, one was from my dog walker, one was from Len, and one was from Brian Brushwood. The others are all spam.
60%. Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, all day, spam.
I'm just looking at mine, and the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were my mother, followed by my wife, followed by my mother, followed by my wife.
See, I dream of that.
Let me ask you something about texts. So, like, I keep getting these texts which are overly familiar. Someone just saying, "Oh, I can't believe we're running into one another again."
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
those,
a total
I
scam.
love those. Yeah, it's
I get one a month.
Like,
one a month.
Hey, is this Bridget?
Yeah,
oh,
right.
How weird.
No,
but let's still talk.
Yeah. They're
Like,
trying to
no,
get you into a conversation so that they can then change the topic of the conversation into their scam. And it doesn't matter how many of them don't work, as long as they get 1 out of 1,000,000, or 1,000
Somebody
or
makes
whatever. Yeah.
I got my first one late last year, and it's like, hey, when are you showing up? It's like,
Yeah.
Because
they're
even if you
designed
say-
to make you respond. In fact, they're probably using LLMs to design really good ones that make people respond.
the idea is that you respond. It's like, oh, you got the wrong number. It's like, oh yeah, I thought I was trying to reach him, and then they give you a story. So like what Tom just said, they want to keep you on, and then they eventually start sort of changing the conversation.
It is tempting it is tempting, even if you know it's a scam, to want to engage. But keep two things in mind. The longer you engage, the more at risk you're putting yourself. No matter what you think, Like they could suddenly go, well, maybe this one is legit, right? They could convince you. And two, the person operating the text, if it's even a person, is not the scammer. The person on the end of your phone that you're talking to, the person at the end of the text that you're talking to, is likely someone who is kidnapped and taken to rural Myanmar and is operating a huge phone bank for fear of punishment. So the kindest thing you can do is not respond to them. So because if you respond and take up time and they lose you, they get punished.
My favorite ones that I get very, very occasionally that gives me a smile is when my son or my daughter text me to say, I've got a new number. Can you just add this or call me, or I need something? And I don't have any kids. So,
when you started that story, I was like, Nate,
that you knew of until suddenly they reached out.
You know, I get the same ones. And, you know, it's amazing.
From Nate's kids.
I know. Well, my kids were still toddlers or an infant. It was like, I don't think so.
It's Nate's daughter. Roger, could you send me some money?
I just love the idea that
3-year-old has a credit account with, you know, Citibank or something. It's just like,
All right. Well, Sarah, thank you for sharing this story with us, because I think it's important for people not to feel embarrassed about this stuff and to talk about it, because the more everybody shares these stories, the better we are at defending ourselves from it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, for anybody who was like, I wouldn't have fallen for that. Well, that's great. But, you know, we all know somebody, you know, a parent, a friend, you know, a sibling, whatever, who might. And the more we know, the better we're off.
Indeed. All right.
Very good.
Folks, it's almost time for the weekly tech game.
Roger, Chang, as always, we do a weekly tech game. What are we doing today?
yes, it's almost time. It is now time. British musicians have always been at the forefront of implementing new technologies into their art. Some of them. In any case, this quiz will test your knowledge of British pop musicians and the technology that they leverage to reach the stratospheric highs of the top 100 Billboard.
Rolling Stones. The Who.
Oasis.
Dua Lipa.
Toad the Wet Sprocket. Oh, wait, they're from Slow.
Slick Rick.
Question 1. This English musician and the English musician and composer Delia, Delia and Derbyshire has been referred to as, quote, the unsung heroine of British electronic music, having influenced musicians as diverse as the Aphex Twins, the Chemical Brothers, and Par Hartnell of Orbital. She also created the otherworldly theme music to this popular BBC series.
So we're trying to figure out what her stage name is.
No, what the
series
is.
Series.
The question was a little buried under all of that.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to say Orphan Black.
Sure.
I don't even know what the question is.
Yeah, what's the question?
What is the
theme? What is the name of the BBC TV show that she created?
That Delia and Derbyshire created.
Yeah.
Oh.
She worked with Aphex Twin and Chemical Brothers, but she also made the Doctor Who theme. I don't know. I'm just going to.
No.
I was going to say Doctor Who as well.
No, that's
Aphex Twin and Orbital are kind of electronic, like sometimes ambient, sometimes.
Yeah, Doctor Who was 60s, so that's probably too old.
Yep.
I mean,
The Tomorrow People.
Oh wow, you actually know that show? That's great. The original Tomorrow People, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just like, you know, very few people know that show.
Not Orphan Black.
I don't know the
think
answer.
that was a co-American.
Are you being serious?
Roger, you should know.
No, I know. I'm just waiting for your answer, Sarah.
Is it modern? Is it a modern show?
No, I don't think it's Orphan Black, because it's, you know, Aphex Twin, Chemical Brothers.
Well, no, those musicians were influenced by her work. So,
But it doesn't mean
by
the
her
theme
work.
is.
Oh, she didn't
Yes.
work with them. I see. I see. Well, then I go back to Doctor Who.
They've been around for 20, maybe 25 years.
Yeah.
So
she's dead, but yes.
Oh,
She's
Oh, okay. I read this
is
so
uplifting.
wrong. Downton
He's
Abbey.
Mother Brown.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I'd have to guess Doctor Who then.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
so
back to
3
Doctor
Doctor
Who.
Who's, 1 Downton Abbey, and I don't know from Sarah.
Yeah.
The Doctor Who's have it. She was responsible for making
that's
that
too
theme song, and
easy.
it's considered to be the first a theme song for any TV show that was entirely done electronically.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh. Yeah, I just listened to Doctor in the TARDIS. Remember that? That's
Oh, yeah.
That was a big hit in the 80s.
KLF?
For
They
some
hit
reason.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
KLF. They're the KLF. Yeah.
KLF. I remember that.
Remember them? What was the other one they did?
I remember cooler kids than me.
KLF
liking
is gonna
KLF.
rock you.
And they did.
They
They
did.
did. They
Yeah,
rocked
they
me.
really did.
There was promises kept, promises
Yeah.
made,
But
promises
they didn't
kept.
do Rock Me Amadeus. That was
That's Falco. Falco.
Falco.
He's Austrian.
Totally different.
I always think of Never Ending Story when I think of that song. Rock Me
Limahl.
Amadeus. All right. Question 2. This British synth pop band released a song that told us that told a story about how technology reshapes music and media.
Oh, come on. The Buggles.
About video, perhaps killing the radio star.
It's gotta be
thought
the
that was
Buggles,
Bare
right?
Naked Ladies.
I'm waiting for everyone else to pitch in.
Well, I agree with Tom.
I
and
also
Len
agree with Sarah.
And Nate.
I agree with Len because he was so sure when he said it.
Yeah.
So it is
I also
Len's-
agree with
yeah.
Len.
That's all the bug. Everyone wins. It's the Buggles.
The Buggles.
Video,
I had to
killed
throw
that
in
radio
there.
star.
That is
First video played on MTV, last
right.
video played on VH1.
Indeed.
They were British.
Indeed.
Yeah, they went from new wave to
It's like, wait,
adult
they were
contemporary within the span of 7 years. Right? Isn't that where VH1 ended up?
There was no fish
before I was
heads.
born.
But it was good.
I definitely recognized the song clearly, but I couldn't have paid you. You could have offered me money to tell you who that was by, and I wouldn't have got it.
I wouldn't have known either.
In
Even
my
though
mind,
I'm like
and in
I'm
my
well
car.
aware that was the first MTV.
We can't
video.
rewind. We've gone
can't?
too far.
All right. Question 3. British musician Vince Clarke used a BBC Micro and later a BBC Master with the UMI music sequencer to compose a number of hits for several new wave bands. Name at least one of these bands that he worked with to create this hit.
I actually know
There's
this.
3.
It's Erasure is one.
Okay.
Sure, I love her.
That was going to be my
Erasure.
guess, my only guess.
Erasure.
Yes.
If you want to be like the king of this question, just name the other 2.
Extra
Shop Boys?
points.
Pet Shop Boys?
Pet Shop Boys. Electronic.
Just tell us when we get them right, Roger. Don't wait for us to
so
all.
Len got it right. Len got one of them right.
Okay.
Erasure.
But
electronic. Is that another one?
Which one did he get right?
Erasure.
There's 2
or
more.
Pet
Erasure.
Shop
There's 2
Boys?
more. I'll
So
let you
none
know
of
when
the
you
others
got
have been right. Just Erasure. Okay.
Yes.
So not electronic.
Erasure.
Pet Shop Boys is a good. Yaz.
2.
said
Yeah,
yes.
you got
That's
it.
a good guess.
I said yes like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't hear
thought
you.
were
So Tom
agreeing.
got
So Vince Clarke. Vince Clarke.
Tom is upset now. I'm sorry.
I'll give Yaz.
All right,
It's okay.
there's
It's
one
okay.
more.
It's okay.
There's one more
okay.
that he was a key member of initially with this band.
Not Pet Shop
Siggy
Boys.
Siggy
Not
Sputnik.
Yaz. Not.
Depeche Mode.
Len got it. He got the
Oh
second.
yeah. Depeche Mode. Really?
I can't believe
Yes.
he was in Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He was in
I
the,
should
he
have
was in
remembered
Depeche
that.
Mode, and then he went to did
I feel like Tom,
Yazoo, and then he did
as a
Erasure.
former DJ, you would know
Yeah.
this.
Oh, in fact, in college when I would DJ dances, we would go Erasure to Yaz to Depeche Mode. That was like a
Right.
break that we did that everyone piled onto
Yeah.
the dance floor for.
Oh yeah, good songs,
Really should.
man. Good songs.
Oh, it's the best. The best.
It is. There was, it's weird because there were a couple of early Depeche Mode songs I really liked, and then they went that weird middling period before they came out with Violator. That was just sort of.
I loved
Music
Erasure
for the
as a
masses
kid.
still
I
their
like how
best.
Roger's like, I was kind of annoyed with
Well, it didn't have the
For a
same
while.
impact, right? And then
Black
when
Celebration. that might have been their.
but Erasure, Innocence album, I still consider the best.
yes.
good one.
I think mine
It's
would
a
have
good
to
one.
be the best of Erasure.
Oh,
Yes.
they also what's
That
the
is the
wait?
best
What's the
by
one they
definition.
did that was nothing but ABBA covers?
Oh man, I had that album. Something like
that a
the
real
title,
thing?
something like Abberific
Yeah.
or something like that.
It's like just they did a bunch of ABBA covers, like
Yeah.
Take a Chance on Me and all that.
Yep.
all the songs.
Good
Mamma
good
mia.
Manson stuff.
Good knowledge.
All right.
I'm
Question
sorry.
4,
I know this
King.
is blasphemous, but I don't really like ABBA.
Blasphemous rumors.
Oh, my
All
wife.
right, question
Love it.
4. Kane Kramer, British inventor and businessman, created the first digital audio player back in 1979. Which legendary British musician from a popular 60s quartet group helped finance him as an investor?
Paul McCartney.
Sarah got it.
Oh, nice. Very
Wow,
good.
well
The
done.
One
Beatles.
and done.
I think you do a very technical advice.
You know, that was an easy one.
Yeah. I mean,
it was
I
good-
was
you're gonna
waiting
get it
to
at one
say
point.
Mick Jagger if Paul McCartney wasn't it or John
No, you
Lennon.
could say Pete Townsend, right?
Yeah, Pete Townsend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, not a quartet. He said quartet. so-
Quartet.
Yeah. The Who was a quartet.
And Rolling Stones wasn't a quartet.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
the
they
Who
were.
a quartet?
Yes, they were.
They were.
Gosh, I guess they were.
Yeah.
I
Ron
never think of
Wood.
them that way. Huh.
Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and who's the fourth
That guy.
The drummer.
I feel bad
Keith
now.
I was about to say
Char-
Pete Best, but then that was the wrong
Charlie.
band.
Oh, you're talking about the Rolling Stones, not the Who.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wait, Keith Richards. All right. Question 5. From 2001 to 2012, this British musician was made famous for a song about dazzling them with brilliance, and that's my paraphrasing, and was the musical director of the TED Conference from 2001 to 2012.
British
So
musician.
the song is not from 2001 to 2000.
No,
The musician is what we're looking for.
But from 2001 to 2012, he was the musical director of TED Conference.
I'm going to take it. Is it with Thomas Dolby?
All right, Len guy.
Wow.
Yeah?
We were
So
just
we
talking
did
about it the
work.
other night.
We need to get
Word.
Len on a musical trivia
Yeah.
show or something.
Absolutely.
You know,
He's like
just,
he's like your trivia
Len is
night
always the
ringer.
best at
No,
all
so
these
here-
trivia shows.
we were just talking
quite
about
annoying.
Tom-
do a week.
at dinner the other night. We were just talking about Thomas Dolby and
I thought
little,
you had dinner
little
with
kind
Thomas
of
Dolby.
flex here. So for my Geek Week project, I interviewed Thomas Dolby, and it was the one guy who actually wrote me and said, "Hey, do you want to talk to me?" I'm like, "What? Thomas Dolby wrote me? That's crazy.
That's so cool. Yeah.
It's very
You
cool.
blinded me with a response.
That's awesome. That's a great song, man. That's a great song."
Well, I
right,
can think
do-
of no better introduction to Len Peralta's work than that story. So thank you, Roger Chang, for the quiz
Aw, I
today.
wanted to
That
keep
was fantastic.
playing.
Yeah. You just want to keep
know.
winning, Len. But you know,
I know. Like, Len, you're the best. We all know it.
we all win when we look at Len's art. What have you drawn for
There
us
you go.
today, Len?
You know, this is something very personal. I became a grandfather again over the weekend.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Oh,
My-
congrats.
Thank you. My grandson Elliot was born last Saturday. And
that's
so
such
I guess I got him on the brain. The story about age verification is where I went. And I think this is Elliot.
Aw.
He says, "Trust me, I'm 21. Now give me access to your OF." So
The raffle
the way,
is
Is that
a nice
OnlyFans?
I did purchase
know.
a little Cookie Monster for his sister.
Oh, you
Just,
got a little
know.
Cookie Monster in there too.
Yeah, a
I
little
love the
Cookie
bag
Monster.
over his head. Did you get him a bag?
No, but he's I think he's sort of sneaky. I'm gonna guess he's sort of sneaky like this.
Yeah.
Guess he's masking his age. Anyway, if you like this or you like OF, you can go to my online store, lenperaltastore.com.
Your OnlyFans site.
You can purchase this, or you can buy. You can go to my Patreon, patreon.com/Len, where if you back me at the DTNS lover level, you will get this print immediately. So go on and do one of those two things and make me a happy man.
Len, congratulations.
Thank you.
What a nice thing to be a grampy.
Yep.
Nate Lanxon, whether you're a grandfather or not, we are so happy to have you on the show. Let folks know where they can keep up with the rest of your work.
Well, all of my stuff that I make or am in some way involved in goes on our bloomberg.com/videos, but also youtube.com/@business. And if you look for the weekly docs playlist, that is where the stuff that I write and often voice as well goes. So that's where the AI video that we talked about this week is. And I have one going up next week that is nothing to do with tech, But if there's one thing I love more than tech, it's things that have absolutely nothing to do with technology. So it's why I've done a film all about Greenland, and that's going up next week. So have a look at it. Thank you.
I also want to do a quick interjection. Oh, we don't. Joe, do you still have that picture I sent you for Nate sent me? Yep, you just passed it. Yeah. If we could show that real quick. This is a really awesome photo with Nate and...
oh, my gosh.
Oh, wow. Brian May.
Yeah.
So that was taken at Sir Patrick Moore's house, no longer with us, but when I was at Wired, they had a book out. I went along to his house to interview him that he'd co-written with Brian May, and they were both there, and we hung out and talked about physics for like 2 hours.
That's so cool. That is a total flex.
You talked about
That's
physics
awesome.
for how long?
Well, I was at his house for about 2 or 3 hours. We were talking for less time than that, but I did get to look through his telescope and stroke his cat Ptolemy, which is a beautiful, beautiful cat.
Perfect.
Stroke the cat.
It's the best.
Very lovely. That's great.
So
Did we skip a question that would have gone?
Yeah.
with it?
It was one of the last three.
Oh, you should have put it earlier then. Make sure we didn't lose it. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was still buried in there.
No, I just randomly wanted to show you a photo of me with a celebrity.
Brian May.
With Brian May. From
Lot of
15
This was
years
hair.
ago.
Easter
Lot
last
of
year.
hair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks everybody for supporting us in all the various ways you do. If people on Twitch are following us like Thordy and Molly Fanton 2025, S-Dub Texas giving us some bits, Stealth Dave in there for the 30th month with a resubscription, PC Milesy with bits, Bryce Benberg Hosking following us, PC Milesy more bits, Paley Glendale more bits, AlVW, thanks for the follow. G James B hit a 7-stream streak with us. Theater Monkey back for the 76th month. Techno Mensch back for the 33rd month. Ross Mdrina 11, nice to have you as a follow. Hit and Run Tony back for the 2nd month. Said finally figured out how to use my Twitch Prime. Glad you did. And thank you Techno Mensch and Zoe Brings Bacon for the bits. Thanks everyone for supporting us at patreon.com/DTNS and dtns.substack.com. Thank you. The more you support us, the better we are able to do. We couldn't do it without you.
Indeed. And for more news, don't miss Daily Tech News Show at dailytechnewsshow.com.
This week's episode of DTNS Live's Thursday Hangout was created by the following people. Host Robb Dunewood, host Tom Merritt, host Sarah Lane, producer Roger Chang, video producer Joe Kuntz, producer at large Anthony Lemos, social media producer and moderator Zoe Detterding. Our mods, Beatmaster, W. Scottus1, BioCow, Captain Kipper, Steve Guadarrama, Paul Reese, Matthew J. Stevens, aka Gadget Virtuoso, and JD Galloway. Modded video hosting by Dan Christensen. Music provided by Martin Bell and Dan Looters. Art by Len Peralta. Acast ad support from Tatiana Matias. Patreon support from Bobby Wagner. Our guest this week was Nate Lanxon. And thanks to all our patrons who make the show possible.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.